Hello everyone! Before anything else, I would like to introduce myself first. So, my name is Kimberly Flores Namuag from BSN1B, studying at GH Surly State College. I am 19 years old, and I was born on December 28, 2001. I live in Payag, San Pablo, Zamboanga del Sur. I love Filipino and English as subjects. I'm not fond of games, but I love watching. I also love old songs, singing, writing songs and poetries, and of course, reading Wattpad stories. I am also practicing calligraphy and baybayin for now. And I am an aspiring nurse, and I would love to be part of filmmaking industry, hopefully. So now, we will talk about facial expressions. Facial expressions are among the most universal forms of body language. It is also a form of non-verbal communication. And here are some examples of facial expressions, like happy, confused, sad, surprised, angry, excited, scared, and then disgust. And my usual facial expressions are happy and sad. And at this moment, we will talk about sign languages. Sign languages are languages that use the visual manual modality to convey meaning. I have here some examples of gestures in the Philippines that has different meanings in other countries. So number 1, we have thumbs up. In the Philippines, this gesture means sign of approval, but this widely recognized sign of approval or agreement is actually used as an insult in Bangladesh. In certain parts of the Middle East, thumbs up is definitely a highly offensive thumbs down. And then number 2, we have come here. This is used in the United States to ask a person to step forward, but in Asia, this gesture isn't welcome. It should only be used to beckon dogs. If you do it in the Philippines, you could be arrested. And then number 3, we have the horn fingers. In the Philippines or in the USA, the horn fingers is adopted by rockers, and it is a sign of approval, rock on. Hook 'em horns is the slogan and hand signal of University of Texas at Austin. But in many Mediterranean and Latin countries, such as Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Spain, Italy, and Portugal, to make this sign out to someone is to tell them that their spouse is cheating on them. And then next, we have looking at your watch. In the Philippines or in most countries, this means I'm in a hurry or I've got to be somewhere. But in Middle East, however, a conversation should run its natural course, as it would be very rude to look at your watch mid-conversation. In Arabic culture, once communication is started, it must take its time. And then next, we have the OK sign. In most of the English-speaking world, as well as in different other countries, this hand gesture means that everything is fine, great, okay, and or perfect. But some of us in the Philippines use this sign if a person has a lot of money. In Brazil, however, it is considered a rude gesture. The most famous example of this was in the 1950s, when Richard Nixon visited Brazil and flushed the okay sign to a waiting crowd upon arriving in Rio de Janeiro, who responded with boos. And then our last example is the V sign. Here in the Philippines, we call it peace sign. We usually do this if we're doing a selfie. This sign has two formats, one with the palm face outwards and another with the palm inwards. In the US, both ways refer to victory and peace. Protesters against the Vietnam War and activists adopted the gesture as a sign of peace because the hippies of the day often flush this sign while saying peace. It became popularly known through association as the peace sign. In other places such as in the UK, Australia and South Africa, the same gesture with the back of the hand facing the other person is considered to be an extremely insulting. And that's it for our examples. So we should always remember and be sensitive enough to use these signs when interacting to different people to avoid misunderstanding. And now, we will talk about the importance of this subject, which is purposive communication, to the course Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So, what is communication? Communication is very important in our daily lives in different settings, whether in school, hospital, or in other workplaces, church, community, and more. So, purposive communication is very important in nursing field because it helps us to strengthen our interaction with our teachers, classmates, and people around while we are in our journey in college. Then later on, hopefully, if we'll become a nurse, we can communicate well to our patient's family as well, our colleagues, or in any personal in healthcare setting. Effective communication of healthcare information can empower patients and their family members to participate as full partners in their care and is demonstrated to improve adherence to treatment and self-management. So it is really essential for us nursing students to study and bear in mind our lessons in purposive communication because someday if we'll work in a hospital, it is very distressing for patients and their families. And it can be scary for patients to question what is happening or to ask for more information. And this feeling of intimidation is often compounded by the loss of functionality, which is linked to a loss of control. As healthcare leaders, we have the opportunity to preserve the dignity of our patients in the face of illness and uncertainty through patient-centered communication. To meet patients in their moment of need, communication structures must extend far beyond the four walls of the healthcare facility to reflect the complexity of today's healthcare journey. Good communication is vital to dignified care, and our patients deserve nothing less. What we learn in purposive communication can strengthen our relationship with our patients someday. It greatly contributes to the ability to provide patients with individualized care. Those needs include the feelings of safety, love, and confidence, all of which are important during a patient's treatment and recovery. Studying purposive communication also helps us to gain more knowledge and widen our vocabularies upon knowing foreign words. And of course, this will guide us to become more confident when speaking in public. This will also prepare us to face confidently a variety of people, not just today but also in the future and so on. This subject will be interesting if we are eager to learn because it will really help us in our profession and in our everyday life. There are lots of things that we should ponder in order for us to be better and become successful. And that's it for today's video. Again, my name is Kimberly Flores Namuag from BSN1B. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Bye!